Okay, today class we're going to talk about making just a cylinder. It's one of the first things that we have to do on the wheel. And if you master how to make a cylinder, you'll be able to make your vase and your mug much better, much more easy. Okay. We're going to start by centering the clay. Push down with both hands on top. I like to squeeze it a little bit on the sides, make it a little taller. It's called wheel wedging, and then I'll push that back down. Want to get this nice and centered. With our cylinder, we want it to have a nice flat bottom. We want it to be the same diameter all the way up. I want the wall thickness to be nice and even. Okay, so now we're going to open. Slowly going to push down. Again, keeping my left thumb right on the ridge of that hole, right on the rim. As I push this down, keeping it nice and centered. I've got my elbows tucked in nice and tight. My hands are touching. That helps support it, gives me a little bit of strength and stability. We'll stop the wheel and check our thickness. Stick the needle tool in there, pull it back out. Gives us a nice thickness on it. Okay, now I'm going to widen this out. I'm going to pull it out until it's about the diameter of the sponge. Make the bottom nice and smooth. Sponge will fit nice and flat across the bottom. I like to take my wood rib at this point. I'm going to use the flat side of the wooden rib just to flatten that out, give me a nice square corner. Okay, now when we lift, I'm going to anchor my right fingers down here at the bottom. I'm going to put them down here right on top of the wheel head. I'm going to anchor. I'm not going to let my fingers move. My left hand is going to go on the inside, and I'm going to push the clay out just a little bit. And the clay is going to end up a little bit on top of my right fingers down there. You can see that it created a little bit of a groove. There's also a little indent on the inside. I'll get my fingers back into that groove. I'm slowly going to pull and lift straight up. I need to make sure that I give the clay enough time to go all the way around before I move my fingers. If you lift too quickly, you'll get a spiral like that. That's very exaggerated. That's not what we want. Again, anchor my fingers, push that out, get that groove, slowly pull this straight up. Trying to keep it nice and narrow. Don't want it to get too wide. I can collar this back in. Push in from the outside, push out from the inside, get that groove. Slowly pull and lift straight up. slowly let go. Now the top half of it is getting a little bit thinner, so I'm going to not lift quite as much in that bottom section. I'm going to focus mostly on the bottom. I'm not going to lift the top section. Okay, now I'm not squeezing, I'm just continuing that movement all the way up just to keep it nice and straight. We'll go back down there, push that out, get that little belly, that groove in it, pull that straight up. We're going to collar it in just a little bit. Help make it nice and straight. You can take your wooden rib and my fingers on the inside, and I'm going to push my rib and my finger, my index finger, up next to each other. That'll help smooth that out. Down at the very bottom, I'm going to clean that up just a little bit. Give it a little undercut. Okay, and then we'll stop the wheel. Now, we're going to cut this one in half, so I'll take my wire tool. I'll wrap it around my hand. Don't wrap it around your fingers. I'm going to pull it nice and tight. I'm going to keep my fingers or my thumbs down on top of the wheel head. I'm going to come underneath it. And then I'm going to go back to the other side, keeping it nice and tight. And I'm slowly going to pull up. Sometimes you have to cut back and forth. We'll cut that straight up like that. And then we'll do this, and that'll give us an idea of the thickness of our cylinder. The bottom here is nice and flat. The walls are nice and straight up and down. And that's how we make a cylinder.